Things just got more expensive for those of you who are looking to buy a home that actually have good credit. Now let me explain. This is something that's been in headlines all over the place. So I want to go ahead and not only just explain what's actually happening, but there's a lot of headlines that are not exactly telling the truth. Not so much not telling the truth, but they're just not explaining it in the way that's what actually is happening. So in this video, I'm going to go over the change that the government has made. The Biden administration has decided to change the way fee structures work in mortgages to make it more affordable for more people to buy homes. And in that, made it more expensive for others. Okay, so if you don't know who I am, my name is Christian Stubbs. I'm a team leader and co-founder here in Orange County, Southern California. Let's dive right into this video. And if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you head over there and hit the subscribe button and the bell so that when these videos come out, you're the first to get notified. First of all, there's just a ton of wrong information going out in the marketplace right now. Headlines everywhere are saying that good credit is getting a 1.75% fee and bad credit is getting a discount fee, meaning they're making it more expensive for good credit borrowers to get a mortgage and less expensive for bad credit borrowers or less than perfect credit borrowers to get a mortgage. And that's just not quite true. So we'll go into that. We're also going to go into what is the goal? Why are they even doing this in the first place? If it isn't broke, why change it? Well, I'll kind of explain really what they're trying to do. Makes a lot more sense than what a lot of people are talking about. And the last thing is, how is this going to affect the overall market? So let's go first and foremost and really just explain what is actually going on. So they're not making it necessarily, they're not adding fees for good credit and taking away fees for bad credit. That's not what they're doing. That's what a lot of people are explaining it as, and that's not quite true. Here's what's actually happening, is there's always been this scale in the mortgage industry where you have a fee that is going to change dependent on your risk assessment from the mortgage bank. So they're going to say if you have better credit, you're less risky. If you have more down payment, you're less risky. If your debt to income ratio is lower, you're also less risky. So the less risky the loan is, the lower the fees are, which makes sense. The more risky a loan is, the higher the fee. Now that is all still true, and that's not changing. But what is changing, and this is where the misconception is how this is being calculated. So what's actually happening is there's this gap between good credit and bad credit on this fee. And what they're doing is they're shrinking that gap. So they're saying that we're going to give less of a discount for good credit, and we're not going to charge as much for bad credit. So what this is inherently doing is it's lowering the cost for those with less than perfect credit in order to buy a home. But by doing so, they're making it marginally more expensive for good credit borrowers to be able to actually buy that property. Now, in the grand scheme of things, this isn't a huge difference. We're talking like $50 a month, maybe $100 a month in worst case scenarios either way. But still, it's more money, and really the people who have good credit are getting a little bit penalized. But leading into my second point, why are they doing this in the first place? The main reason they're doing this is really the right thing to do, is they're making home ownership more affordable for those who don't have perfect credit. So they're giving an opportunity to those who have less than perfect credit to have lower fees when getting into home ownership. That's what they're trying to accomplish. The government wants people to own properties, so any way that they can make more people have a better chance of buying a home, they feel like that's going to help. Now, it's obvious that the government thinks this. There's tax benefits. There's so many benefits of home ownership, and this is just making it a little bit easier for more people to buy a property. So I'm not going to go too much into is this good, is this bad. Frankly, it's just a change that we're all going to have to deal with, and probably 6 months from now, we won't even remember that this was a thing. These aren't huge changes to the actual fees, but it is what it is in the short term. So what does this mean for the overall market? This brings me to my last point here, is this is actually going to be a really good thing for the market. If more people can go in and buy a home because it's less expensive for them, that is going to raise demand. Higher demand raises prices, and higher prices are great for homeowners. So if you're in the market shopping for a home right now, you can expect this to bring just a little bit more demand to the marketplace. Now that means there will be more buyers in the market, and more buyers, again, mean prices are going up. So while that's not great while you're in the process of buying a home, it's a testament to once you've owned that property, you want property values to increase. If you're a homeowner in a neighborhood and you've been there for a while, this is just all good news overall. Okay, so before I go into just wrapping up and summarizing, I want to make sure I let you know that you can go over to ocmarketupdates.com to register for our newsletter, where we send information like this out every single Friday of what is going on in our local marketplace. So make sure you go over to ocmarketupdates.com and register for that newsletter. So let's get into summarizing this whole thing. At the end of the day, they're changing fee structures that have always existed. It sucks for people with better credit. It's great for people with not so great credit. And everybody in the middle is going to have a marginal change in what their fees would be on their loan. Not going to be the end of the world, but overall, it's going to bring more buyers to the market. This is going to be good for the overall economy. More home ownership is good for everybody. That's my overall take on it if you take politics aside, but this is just another lesson on why reading a headline is not where you should stop when you're reviewing what's going on in the overall economy, what's going on especially in the local marketplace. Because I think here in Southern California, this will have a really, really small impact on the overall market. More places where you have a ton of less than perfect credit borrowers are going to have a bigger impact on this, and it's not really going to affect us too much here in Southern California. But all in all, it's the same. So make sure you've subscribed to the YouTube channel so you can see when this next video comes out. And if you want to get this in your inbox every Friday as well too, go over to ocmarketupdates.com and make sure you register. We'll see you in the next video.